Hello, everyone. Welcome again, everybody. I'm Mike Claiborne, and this is Claves Online on Sports Central STL. And we have a chance to visit with one of my favorite people. He's going to be in St. Louis at the Helium Club in the Galleria this weekend for two shows on Friday and Saturday. One of my favorites. It's always good to welcome George Wallace to the show. George, how are you, man?
I feel good all over, and thank you for having me. God bless you. Something good is going to happen to you. I'm going to be in St. Louis tomorrow.
You know what? I'm glad to hear you say that because you're on tour, and every time you're out, you always find a way to make St. Louis part of your stop. So tell me why St. Louis has been one of those favorites for you.
Well, I just said, you got the world's largest McDonald's there, so that's where I just stop in for that. When I see that big arch, I go, ooh, it's got to stop in St. Louis and get me some St. Louis ribs and pappies and all of that stuff, and it's just good to stop in St. Louis. Nothing but
So,
fun.
so what's the name of your tour this year? Because every year you have a different theme for your tour. So what is it this year?
It's still the I Be Thinking tour, and I apologize. I am traveling, so my drapes look like a funeral home in the back. I just noticed that. It's still the I Be Thinking tour.
So what you been thinking about lately, there, if that's the case?
Been
Because I
thinking
know
about a
your
lot of
mind
things.
is always, your mind's always moving.
I'm still mad about these big dogs coming into restaurants, not the service dogs, but support dogs. And I was at Olive Garden yesterday. The lady had a big ass dog, and what the hell is stressing her out so much? She said, "Oh, I don't know. He just wants to be with me."
I think we lost you there for a second, George. Hey, George, I think we lost you for a second. We lost the audio. Joe, can you put?
Okay,
Okay, there you go. All right,
I
you were talking
apologize,
about the
guys.
dog. You were talking about the dog. You were
The support dog at the Olive Garden. Who the hell needs a dog at the Olive Garden? You can't handle these breadsticks in here. Is the salad bowl spinning around too fast? I'm sitting here trying to eat my lasagna, and your dog is at the next table licking himself. I don't need to see no stuff like this. So I'll be thinking about stuff like that.
Now you've been at this game for a long time, and I'm wondering how is it that you can remain relevant? Because comedy is one of those things where there's hot spots, there's cold spots. You see a lot of comedians doing the same kind of routine, but for you, you've been able to maintain. You've been doing it for a number of years. Throw in the fact that you wrote as well for Redd Foxx and some other great comedians. What keeps you relevant, man? Because people still come out and see you, and they love having a chance to listen to you talk.
All you got to do is listen to the news. By the way, last weekend, July 4th weekend, I was invited to Dave Chappelle's house in Ohio. In the middle of a cornfield, he's got 1,600 white people, 99.9% white people in the audience. And Dave's got five of the darkest, blackest comedians in the world to work with him on the show. And we pulled it off. And I tell you what, that was really great. So to stay relevant is just watch the news, political things happening all over the world, and people still saying stupid stuff. And DoorDash yesterday dropped off my food, and I live on the 25th floor, and the concierge called me and says, "Mr. Wallace, your food is here. Do you want us to send it up?" I said, "No, you keep it. You eat it." So just stupid stuff happens every day in the news, everywhere, all over the place. So
You you're right, and I was thinking about you the other day with regard to the stupid things that you see. But one of the things I wanted to bring up about you is your
I am doing a
longevity.
terrible job with this camera, but keep
But
going.
you know what? You're doing a hell of a job. You know what? This could be a second job for you down the road. Camera holding. I don't know who you're going to face it to, but I think you may have a future with this. But I want to go back to the relevancy because you have a record that people don't talk about. You had the longest residency in Vegas, and when you think about how long you've been out there and doing this as a career, to have that sort of record, it says a lot about obviously your longevity and the fact that you continue to find ways to make people think that George Wallace is the guy we need to come see when we're in Vegas.
You really do. But I'm on the road now. I'm busy. I was in Vegas for 15 years. I went there for 30 days, 60 days, 90 days. Turned out to be 15 years. And I'm the only black man that ever owned the show. Didn't work for the hotel. I worked for George Wallace. I own my show. They call that four walling. On every wall. I had to do all the marketing, advertising, everything. I enjoyed that, and I just love working and making people laugh. And uh, and I thank God for people like Redd Foxx from St. Louis, and for paving a way for people like me to come into Las Vegas and work.
Hey, for you, being funny can be hard for some people. And I'm wondering, if you weren't a comedian, what would you be doing?
I would be working for an airline. My first degree is in transportation, and so I would be traveling all over the world doing stupid stuff. But talking, there's nothing I can do. Maybe I could be a minister. You know what? That's what I should be as a bishop.
That's
I should
it.
be a
That's it.
televangelist. I'm gonna be a televangelist and make me some real money and stop this BS with this coming with these jokes. You see the big preachers out there today. What's this guy named Jesse Duplantis bragging on television? But he's got the biggest house in the state of Louisiana, and he asked people to buy him a jet. The Lord told him he needed a new jet. He's a BSer. Hell, he's got 3 jets. I don't even have one yet. So the Lord ain't told him nothing. He made that up.
I thought you might go the athlete route because you had a brother, Steve, that had a great career in the NFL. Was athletics something that was big in your family?
Have you ever seen my brother Steve Wallace played for the 49ers?
Yes, three Super Bowls. Yeah, and a Pro Bowler as well. Yeah, I know. I remember.
His head is on backwards right now because they knocked his head off. My nephew is a Money Tuma, played for the New York Giants. My other nephew is Bobby Hamilton, played for the New England Patriots. So I got 7 Super Bowl rings in my family. So so no, I never wanted to play football. I played football 1 quarter in high school, and a guy named Sam Colbert clotheslined me and knocked my head completely off. It was like a cartoon, and it came back attached. I said, well, that's enough for me today. And I played 1 quarter. But everybody in my family played football but me. Even my mama played football. Mm-hmm.
So what you're saying is he knocked some sense into you instead of out of you.
As old folks, I'm going to knock some sense into you. You remember that, don't you? Yeah.
I did. That and don't let me get a switch off the tree.
Yeah, right.
You take the leaves off the tree.
Switch. Go get your own switch. Oh, you showing your age right now.
Hey,
listen, when I come to St. Louis, we're going to have so much fun.
Oh, I'm looking forward to it. And I mean, every time you come and you sell out all the shows, and you just, one of the neat things about watching you work is when the shows are over, you are there to thank people for coming out and taking a selfie and shaking hands and things like that. Truly appreciating the fact that they decided they were going to spend their time with you and you give them their money's worth and then some.
That's the least I can do. These people pay my rent, and I love it. And I just love people. I enjoy life. I got the greatest job in the world, and sometimes I just choke up and I thank God for what I do, because basically all I do is lie. Basically, that's all I do is lie. Just up there making up stuff. And the people love it. But I don't lie as much as the weatherman, and I don't say stupid stuff like Anderson Cooper said something stupid last month. The whole state of California damn near burnt down, right, with the fires. And Anderson Cooper was out there asking people, have you ever seen anything like this before? Just stupid. Have you ever seen anything like this before? When Al Roker and Anderson Cooper show up, I really pay attention to what they say, asking people questions, stupid questions. Have you ever seen anything like this before? The state burnt down.
What's the stupidest question you've ever heard that made you stop and think, now this person really is stupid?
Somebody asked me Sunday, Mr. Wallace, what you doing at the airport? You going somewhere? No, I just come out here. I'm buying a bucket of chitlins. That's what. Stupid stuff comes up all the time. You get in the Uber car, you close the door, and the guy says, are you ready? Well, what the hell else am I? The door is shut, isn't it? It doesn't stop. You go to church. The preacher will tell you stupid stuff in church. Will you please stand to your feet? What the hell else are we going to stand on?
Yeah, you kind of make a point there. I think you're making a good point.
Everything is a lie. Cheesecake Factory. Now, that ain't no factory. That's a restaurant. See, you're talking to George Wallace. I talk about anything and everything. Yes, I do.
Hey, you know what? And that's the thing about your comedy, where I know you write jokes and you have some jokes, but you are a guy that I've seen in action. Spontaneity is something you're really good at. You really play to the audience, and there may be somebody who says something or looks a certain way that you waste no time recognizing that moment and filling up a segment of your show.
You got to hit it right at the moment, because that's what I do. That's another stupid thing people say. If I can do it, you can do it. Like hell you can. I can't do what you do. You're on radio. You're doing a great job right now, and you look good, and you know what you're doing. I can't do that. I can read, but I can't read copy. You know what I'm saying? It's hard to read copy without making an error, and I don't want to make any error, so I prefer not to do it unless I record it.
Yeah, nothing wrong with that. George Wallace is our guest. He's going to be at the Helium Club Friday and Saturday night, 2 shows in the Galleria. So if you want to come out and have some good times, you can come out and hang out with George. And if you've seen him before, you know what I'm talking about. If you haven't seen him before, you better get out and check him out because he is everything and then some. Hey, some quick hits for you, George. Best comedian you ever saw?
His name is George Wallace. His real name is Henry Wallace. I tell you what, I love me some Bernie Mac. I don't know about you, but I love me some Bernie Mac. Let's
Bernie
put it
Mac
like
was
that.
great. He was great.
Yeah.
Best advice you've ever received when you got into comedy?
Make sure you enjoy yourself, be true to yourself, and enjoy what you do. And God, I'm the most blessed person. I'm actually the most successful person you've ever met in entertainment. It's not how much money you make, it's how you enjoy your life while you're living. And nobody has a better time than I do making people happy. When I see happy people, it makes me happier. And I know I've been doing it for 49 years. Some of the young people don't know me, so guess what I'm doing in St. Louis? If you're under 30, you can get in for free. Bring your parents down, you can get in for free. I'm trying to, what do you call it, reinvent myself with the young people. So I'm letting them come in under 30 for free. They can bring their parents down. How about that? Some young people never seen their parents laugh. This would be a great time to come out. Can you believe that? Under 30, I'm letting kids in for free. Don't come down there with no fake ID, especially the people in East St. Louis. I know what y'all do. I'm gonna be standing at the door. Under 30. Don't come down.
Checking everybody's ID.
Yeah, don't come down there with gray hair like mine. Remember, we know each other. Old people know each other. So don't come down with gray hair talking about you under 30.
You know, it's funny you talk about watching your parents laugh or listening to your parents laugh. I remember as a kid when my parents would pull out the Redd Foxx albums and they would sit around with other friends. You know, I'd have to go in another room, but to hear them laughing along that line is something that I think we kind of take for granted because we're always going in different directions and we probably don't spend enough quality time in that environment laughing.
For sure, especially with your parents. Now, we had to go in the other room. That's what was so good about our company. When they listened to Redd Foxx, we had and Mom's Mabley, and Mom's Mabley wasn't dirty at all to today's standards. You know, she had some innuendos and things like that. But we had to go in the other room, and they must have. Our parents were stupid too. When they went to church, we went in the room where they were, and we laughed our butts off. Yes, we did. So, but this is something new. I'm in a good belly laugh. A lot of people don't hang out with their parents, so that's why I'm having I want the young kids to know who I am too, so they can spread the word. Hey, they call me. It's times have changed. About 5 years ago, everybody was calling me Sarge. Why they calling me Sarge? Then they start calling me Boss, and now 3 years ago they start calling me OG, and now they're calling me Unc. Hey, what up, Unc? I'm going. Hey, listen, I'm not your uncle, but there's an 80% chance that I definitely might be your daddy.
George Wallace is our guest. Hey, laughter is good medicine for anyone. What's the prescription for you on a bad day?
Laughter is healing for the soul. I tell you, a prescription for me on a bad day is to just call someone. Laughter is really healing for the soul, and that's in the Bible. Um, I pretty much laugh every day. I do. When I wake up in the morning, I got a smile on my face, and if I can help someone else with a smile on their face, that's my job also.
I mentioned that you wrote for a number of different comedians in the past. How much fun was that? And what did you take away from it? Because you work with a lot of great comedians over the years. One of your best friends is Jerry Seinfeld. So you've been able to cross multiple streets and be able to still remain relevant when it comes to that. But writing has got to be a little bit more of a challenge.
Writing is really good, and especially when you're performing yourself, no matter how great the joke is that you wrote, the performer will never perform your joke the way he could have done it better. When I was writing for Redd Foxx with the Redd Foxx show on ABC back in the '70s, he would do a great joke and get an applause, like but he didn't hit the accent. He didn't do this, so you go like, let me do my own jokes. So,
Is
but we
that why you
still.
ended up being a comedian where you wrote enough where you felt like, I think I can do this?
No, 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 no. I was a comedian before, and I was on stage at the at this comedy store in Los Angeles, and the ABC people came in and said, can you write on the Redd Foxx show?" I says, "I'm not into writing for other people." They said, "This is back in the '70s. Well, we think you can. We've been watching you for 3 weeks. We think you can write." I said, "I'm not into writing." They said, "We think you can. When you make up your mind, it's $2,500 a week. I'll be there in the morning." So So I started writing for that way. And you mentioned Jerry Seinfeld. We still write together. We're still best friends, of course. And I just love him. And that's another blessing. Can you believe my best friend, number one friend, best man in his wedding and all of that stuff is my 49 years of friendship. And we still talk to each other 5 times a day. It's amazing. And it's a blessing to have the number one, and he makes more money than anybody. He's the only billionaire in comedy right now. How about that? Billionaire in comedy. This guy is printing money. When he's sleeping, the printer is rolling. When you walk into his house, you smell ink.
and that funny kind of paper that they use.
What we used to call it, memogram.
Yeah. Remember how when you used to take the test in school and you would inhale it, and if you were in charge and passing out the test, people would sit there and inhale the ink from it.
Isn't that amazing? When we went to school, did you have this opportunity when you took the test? The teacher used to let us make the test for them, and we roll it, and then we get the test before everybody else got the test.
Yeah, I think they cut that out a few years ago. I think the internet
kind of they can use calculators and computers now and take tests. We can do that.
No, I mean, you couldn't even look at someone, let alone their paper, more than 5 seconds before somebody
I could, because if you see me go like this in college, I was way across the room, man. Let me tell you something. In college, University of Akron, where I went to school. That's right.
Akron Zips. The Akron Zips.
We just found out what the Zips were about a year ago. Did you know that?
I did not know that. What are they about?
Ohio State 38, Akron, Zip. Zip, nada.
So that's
zero.
where it came from. Okay, I get it. I get it.
I had a system in college. I used to be pretty good at marketing and advertising and transportation, but I wasn't good in Eastern civilization and things like that. So when we go to school in my class, I'd sit down in the front. I had 5 different pencils, and I knew all of the marketing and business. And if I raised a yellow pencil, they know that's A. If I said red pencil, they know that's B. And that was my system. Kids all over the room was copying off me. Then they said, "Oh man, I think they're catching on to the pencil. What can we do?" I said, "Okay, what we're gonna do this time? If I move my ears 1 time, that's A. If I do it 2 times, that's B." So one day, 3 times is C. Then one day I heard somebody say, "Hey man, how many times he move his ears?" So I've been cheating all my life, having fun.
Well, with cheating and lying, I mean, that's a pretty good combination for you.
I did it.
You already mentioned that. Hey, well, George, we won't keep you. Before we go, I want to go. If I wanted to go see George Wallace this weekend for the first time,
you would go to helium.com. Go to heliumscomedy.com.
Helium.com and go.
I think it's out there by the Galleria Mall.
Yes, in the Galleria, and everybody knows where that is, right off of 40 in Brentwood. And I always suggest get there early because there's always a good crowd. They have a great bar there, and they have some good food to serve as well. And you'll come out and do your thing. And you're going to be there for 2 nights. Friday night, 2 shows.
Willie Moe Jr., the gospel artist all over the nation, nationwide. Willie Moe Jr., he's going to be with me. This is the guy you need to see. So all you church people come out too. You preachers, we don't cuss that much. I don't cuss. I use, I met Waka Flocka Flame, as I always tell you. That's my cuss word, Waka Flocka. It ain't cussing, but it's close enough.
It's close enough to know what your point is.
What I'm trying to is right. All these Waka Flocka. So everybody in St. Louis, East St. Louis, y'all come. Y'all be nice now, East St. Louis.
Oh, they're always nice, George. They get a bad rap. They're always nice.
They do. They are. But I have to joke. Every city has a joke.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
So all you country people out there in East St. Louis, we have a hitching post for your Muse and your buggers and your wagons. So come on down, and we're gonna rebuild the St. Louis airport while I'm here too.
You like our airport? You like our airport, or what do you think we ought to do differently?
There's certain airports we need to blow up. Okay.
Okay. Is this one of them in St. Louis?
St. Louis, well, y'all still got TW. No. Y'all still got TW.
No, man. You didn't see the Ozark sign?
I saw the Ozark. I saw all of it. Yeah. So
TWA bought Ozark. So in Ozark,
I've been coming through there for many years. I remember Ozark. Yeah.
Man, oh man. All right. So final question for you. If I said to somebody, "Hey, we're going to see George Wallace," and they're going to ask me, "Well, what kind of comedian is he?" What would I say to them? How would I describe George Wallace?
He's one of us. He'll think he's big uncle. He's up there just talking trash. Next thing you know, he'll be on stage for 1 hour. You'll be out of there and you feel much better than you do when you leave the doctor's office. See George Wallace, guaranteed laughter, happiness, joy, and friendship.
He'll be at the Helium Club on Friday and Saturday night in St. Louis. We want to come on out and check him out. Helium.com is where you can get tickets. George Wallace, thank you so much for your time today. We look forward to seeing you on Saturday. And if you want to come out to the baseball game this weekend, I got it.
You know what? Who they playing?
Atlanta Braves.
You know where I'm born.
I know. That's why I suggested it.
Well, I hope they get better. We're having a down year.
You're having a tough year. There's no doubt about that.
We're having until people going to our stadium and ordering hot dogs to go. But Friday, come to the second show. That's when we really lose. Second show Friday and Saturday. I'm George Wallace. I love you. There's absolutely nothing you can do about it. You know you're welcome to come in. Bring your whole family. Okay?
All right. He's George Wallace. I'm Mike Claiborne. It's Claibs Online. We thank everybody for tuning in, and we'll talk to you real soon.
Thank you, Mike.
Thank you, George. I'll see you on Saturday.
You got it. Bye-bye.
Take care.